Okay, here we have an Infinity i35, and as you can tell, right here, you have it's a bolt that turns, and what I've done is I went to Lowe's, and I've got a 4-pack of M6 times 0.10 nuts, and then I got the same size bolt, and what I did was I took in, just with my pair of needle nose behind it, I threaded this first nut on, and then I threaded the second nut on halfway to the end of the threads, and then I took this bolt and I went and tightened it halfway to the end of this one here on the end. So what it's doing is it's holding it in place, and then what I can go back and do is I can tighten this all the way down, because this has nothing from the backside holding it, and it has to be tightened down to hold these two throttle bodies, the one above this that you can't see. They must have done this to mess people up and make you get a mechanic in here to fix it. So they engineered it very badly, but we're going to engineer around it and tell them to kiss our you-know-what. So here's what I'm doing, and here it is. Okay, so we've got our 10mm right here. We're just going to put that down there behind it, tighten that down till it tightens up nice all the way. And what you might ask is, well, how in the world are we going to put our new filter over here? Because this was one of the pieces that held the filter down. Well, it's not going to make a difference right here as far as the filtration goes. So what I'm going to do is, on our new filter, I'm going to drill a hole just big enough to get these nuts through. So you get all the rest of these bolts holding that filter on, but we're not going to worry about this one. So from now on, anytime we change the filter, we're just going to have to drill a hole, and I'll show you how I did that. And that way you don't have to worry about this thing breaking out your whole transmission if you've messed it up like I have. Okay, right here, like I said before, I just put this on halfway. I tightened this down nice and tight, made it a little bit snug, that way I could hold this in place. I tightened this all the way down to the bottom, so this valve on the inside is not going to come loose. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out my little area that I need to on my filter to put the rest of it in, and we'll never have to worry about this anymore, with our filter changes. Okay, as you can see right here, I took my bolt off. I snugged down the base, and then I snugged down this one, and they're not super tight, they're just snug enough to where it's not going to go anywhere. And now we can take our filter, drill our hole through it, put our new filter on, and we'll be good to go. The only thing that we'll have to do from now on is, when we get a new filter, just drill a hole so that these can slide through. Other than that, that's it. And that'll stop that problem next time you have to change filter. Okay, here we've got our drill, 1/2-inch high-speed drill bit, and we're going to drill it right there, flip it over, drill it back through so our kind of material is pointing downward, and we can get those two nuts past there, and then we can lock everything down, and that should be it. You will have obviously a little seepage, but it's not going to be enough to make any difference, and it will definitely save your transmission, and you'll never have to worry about that nut coming loose again if you ever change the filter again. Only thing you'll have to do is that one quick hole with this, take it apart. But as you can see, this thing has a screen, so I mean, unless your screen is perforated, all you have to do is clean it with some cleaner and spray it with some compressed air, and you're fine. You don't really have to change these filters every time. You can just get a new gasket, clean it out real good, change the fluid, and clean the magnets. Okay, this is what our finished hole looks like. You see, I took my razor knife, I reamed that hole out real good, made sure that there's no rough edges, nothing that's going to fall apart in the transmission. Then I'm going to take some cleaner, clean it out real good, make sure that I've gotten all these little pieces of metal out of there, blow them out with compressed air, and then I'm going to go ahead and install it. And when I install it, that's going to slide right over those two back-to-back nuts, and no worries. Okay, so after cleaning this with compressed air, cleaning it out real good with brake cleaner, and spraying it out real good, as you can see right there, hole's nice and big. Alright, so we're ready to go ahead and put that on, and our two back-to-back nuts are just going to fit right over that, and no more taking that reamer nut and bolt out and messing with us anymore. Okay, so here we go. Stick this on up here, right over there, and as you can see, it fits perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and put all the other bolts on, get ready for assembly, and that'll be it. Now, if you're wondering how in the world did I get this thing off to begin with, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can do what I did before, which was take a nut halfway off the end, put a bolt on there, tighten it down, and then use that to untighten it. Or you can take your old filter that's on there, take every bolt off except for that one, and then hold pressure on it sideways. So what you're doing is, wedging it, and then gently take that off. I would take it off with something quick, like in reverse, of course, air impact, not an impact, but just an air wrench, or what I prefer is DeWalt or a lightweight drill. That way you're putting not too much pressure on it, and that'll bring it right off. That's how I got mine off to begin with. Unfortunately, with that reamer nut and bolt in there, I was not able to put it back in correctly because of how it was going, and I just wanted to just do away with it. So next time I change this filter, I'm not going to have any more problems. I'm not going to have to worry about this thing anymore because it's a pain in the ass, and engineers put it there just to ream you, basically. Okay, right here is our finished product. As you can see, everything is in place. That's where our reamer bolt, slides through, and now it's no longer a problem. There's not enough space there for it to do anything as far as pressure or anything like that, in my opinion. Don't take my word for it, because I'm not a transmission engineer, because if I was, I'd have to kick the living fool out of the person that designed that. But now we don't have to worry about it anymore. That's the end of that. All we have to do is put a 1/2 inch hole for the next one we decide to put in, and no more do we have to bust our knuckles and worry about that thing.